My next guest is the ultimate motivational and inspirational force. He was TED Talk before TED Talk. Can I say that?
Let the record show.
Yes. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation, one of the world's most renowned motivational speakers, Mr. Les Brown.
Thank you very kindly. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And let me say to you,
Yes, sir.
I really admire you and your creative eye and your wardrobe.
Thank you.
I mean, you have changed how I'm going to be showing up.
Awesome.
And I'm going to give you
and we're
credit.
going to work with that.
Yes,
then.
because your design for your suit, I've been watching you all day, and now you have accelerated my losing weight so that I get down to your size.
Well, I would tell you something, Mr. Brown. The great thing about me, I enjoy life, and you enjoy life.
Yes.
You know, because for over 30 years, you made an impression on me. And I'm going to say that because we're going to talk about Money Making Conversation. We're going to talk about the Les Brown Institute. We're going to talk about your website, talk about your famous quotes, your book series and everything. But also, it's about your legacy as a groundbreaker. I think it's really important because, and I'm going to say some things because this is the only way I can say it. Because, you know, I've seen you at the Houston Arena Theater. That holds 2,750 people. And I'd say 2,700 people were white. Listen to you talk.
Yes.
And I say that not in a negative because, you know, here you're a guy, here an African-American male, you know, is motivating people in a positive direction, and quote unquote, you don't look like them. How were you able to cross that barrier? You're still doing it today at a very high level. How were you able to cross over like that?
My languaging style. My goal is to speak to people, those on top and those who wanted to get there.
Right.
And, you know, interestingly enough, this area is an advantage by being an African American. The number one purchases of my products, over 90% are Caucasian.
Absolutely.
And the country of Sweden is the number one purchases of my products.
Sweden.
When I went to speak in Poland, 30,000 people stood up and applauded me in Poland, all right? If I did that here in the United States, had an event here in the United States, I think I might draw maybe about 200 or 300.
Right.
African American, because there's a reason. We have an entertainment-driven culture. But when you think
about African
Americans, we have an entertainment-driven culture. We spend more money and more energy and time on entertainment than we do on things that can empower us, that can educate us, that can teach us how we can begin to take control of our financial future. So but here's the thing. As we look at ourselves and look at where we are right now, I believe that there are people that's waking up and realize that we have to work on ourselves, that affirmative action and none of these other programs will help us in this era where we are now.
Right.
Over 20,000 people are losing their jobs every day.
Right.
50% of the jobs that now exist, they can be done by robots. And so when you think about the other 30 to 40% can be done by artificial intelligence or technology or cheap labor abroad, that people have to become entrepreneurial.
Right.
You have to create something if you want it to happen for yourself.
Let's look at that word. The word entrepreneurial. Is entrepreneurial and small business, is that the same? Is that the
Absolutely, same? Yes. Something that you believe in. Find something I believe that you're passionate about, that you feel strongly about.
Right.
Your program.
Right.
You are doing this program that is designed to educate and to transform people's lives.
Yes, sir.
But you have another vision of yourself. You have an eye. You have the ability to design men's suits. So like me, I've seen a lot of suits.
Yes, sir.
But you have impressed me. I've been watching you all day, and I just wish I was your size again.
I'll be naked. Yeah. Will I be naked, Mr. Brown?
That's right, brother. You can't hang this out on the clothesline because I would get that. Yeah, I'm a 21-year cancer conqueror.
Awesome.
And the medication they put me on to stop it from metastasizing further, it put 55 pounds on me. And as a result, I became diabetic, and as a result, you have to go on insulin, and so that makes it difficult to get the weight off. But because of you,
inspiration.
Let the record show you have motivated homie up in here, up in here. I've covered for you. I mean to tell you, you look so good, and that's how I want to go out on stage and make a statement.
Well, we talked about that. We talked.
Yes.
I said, I'm with you now.
Yes.
I'm with you now. I do 3-piece. And I just told you how I flip them around.
Yes.
Just the vest and the pants.
Yes.
Or the coat and the pants.
I want you to hook me
pieces.
up. I want you to hook a brother up. All right.
Well, I'm your man. I'm your man.
Thank you. There's no question.
Because you've been inspiring me.
Yes.
And you've been motivating me. And
now you're inspiring me and motivating me. I've been watching you all day.
I know. He has. He said, Rushion, what kind of shoes are those? I said, Meslin. I only wear Meslin shoes, too.
Yes.
I mean, that's the great thing about me and my life and why I started Money Making Conversations, because I want to just talk. I get to talk normal to people. Yes, I do have a degree in mathematics. Yes, I have worked for IBM, but I'm really just a normal guy when I look at things, and that's why I had to ask you, because I remember Lee Haney, Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
And I was just telling him, and I remember I was brought to tears about how inspirational he was, winning so many Mr. Olympias in a row. Because you're out there by yourself.
Yeah.
You're breaking new ground. So I'm doing a series called Faith and Business. I said faith plus work equals success. What kept you? Because you had to have moments where doubt sunk in. Before you got to Poland and had 30,000 people show up.
Yes.
Before you got to Sweden and they bought your books. And even today, what keeps you going?
I wanted to buy my mother a home, and I learned how to become unstoppable because of my mother. Mamie Brown, she had only a third grade education. She never had any children.
Right.
And she adopted 7 children, and I was among the 7 that she adopted. And I watched her getting ready to go to work and saying, Arthur's bothering me. And I said, Mama, who's Arthur? She said, don't worry, you live long enough. You'll find out. Well, now I have arthritis in my shoulder, my scapular area, and my right bun. I was at a program, and this church's lady was touching people to heal them. And so she said she wanted direct contact. And so when I got up there, she said, where you hurt? I said, my right bun, I got arthritis. She touched my head and said, touch him, Jesus, touch him.
Touch his head. Come on, I ain't gonna touch his butt.
You wouldn't touch my butt, but I did turn around so she had access.
Work that magic down there,
That's
Jesus.
right.
Work that magic down there, Jesus.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, so between cancer, arthritis, sciatica pain, I have gone through some stuff, but everybody goes through some stuff. It's not just... I'm not just selected for it, and I'm glad to be here. I'm 72. I look younger than I am.
Absolutely.
Because I get up early in the morning, and when I don't have my mascara to cover my gray, I got friends like Zakia who will hook a brother up. I got 3 gray eyelashes that I haven't figured out how to color them.
It's interesting that because I like to tell everybody I'm a cancer survivor too. Thyroid cancer.
Yes.
And when I was when the doctor told me, that I had cancer, and I tell people every day, I don't care who you are, where you are in life. Once somebody tells you have cancer, time stops.
It does.
I don't care.
It's the most feared word in 7 different languages.
And it took me a moment to, because I had to reflect on my life.
Yes.
Yeah, reflected on my life because they can say 90%, 95%. You just hear cancer.
That's all you hear.
And that allowed me to look back on my life and allowed me to evaluate where I'm moving forward. And I'm gonna tell you something, Mr. Brown. I feel good about my life, and that's why I'm doing this show, because I think people who wait, or people who think I have tomorrow or next year, don't.
You're absolutely right. Wayne Dyer and I had agreed to do a special for PBS because we're the biggest fundraisers in the history of public television.
I read that.
And so we were just putting it off month after month. And then he called me and said, Les, I'm coming to Orlando. I'll be there in 2 weeks. Let's go in and let's videotape this. And I said, okay. 2 days later, he was dead from a massive heart attack. So you don't want to put anything off. You want to seize the moment. And when the doctor looked at me, he said, "You have cancer." I said, "Can you give me a second opinion?" He said, "Yes, and you're ugly too." I'm sorry, I got problems. I got issues.
In between rubbing your butt and laughing about cancer. But you know something? That humor is what's making you survive.
Let me share this with you. 1 minute of anger. I study the area of when you look at your life.
Yes, sir.
I study the areas of how our mind impacts our body.
Yes, sir.
1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. 1 minute. 1 minute of laughter boosts your immune system for over 24 hours. So when you hear my presentation, I have a lot of laughter in there, and the people who hear me and they laugh with me, they won't get sick for 20 years.
Absolutely.
So it's a healing process for me every day. My daughter, Ona Brown, hello, baby. How are you? She looks like me without a beard.
Like my daughter.
Yeah.
We're about to go to break. I want
Okay.
you to stay right there. We're going to be back. We're going to talk about the Les Brown Institute.
Yes,
all
sir.
right?
Yes.
Going to meet this lovely daughter, just like my daughter. She's happy she looks like me.
Uh-huh.
And everybody, you look like your dad. She just smiles. And so you got a beard. She wish she'd had a beard.
That's
But she's a
what
happy
I'm talking
person.
about.
We'll be right back with more money-making conversations. My man, Les Brown, he going to dress like me, and I'm going to be like him.
All right.
Be right back, y'all. Hi there. This is Rushion McDonald. We're back with Money Making Conversations. I'm the host. I'm here every Monday for 2 hours, changing lives, making a difference, making people think that they can do the things that they thought they couldn't do. In my studio today is one of the guys who's been inspiring me and millions of people. I want to say millions now over the
This
years
is true.
into realizing that you're not stuck in the bottle. I was listening to J.J. Harrison song "You Deserve It." And that's inspiration that a lot of people need to understand that you deserve it. Reach out for it, speak it. Now, Mr. Brown is in the studio with me. He brought his daughter. I'm going to allow him to introduce his daughter, and we're going to get started with some more money-making conversations.
Okay, well, not only is she here, but John Leslie, my son, he's a speaker, and Patrick Brown, preparing for tomorrow, he's a speaker as well. But my daughter, Ona Brown, she does results coaching, helping people to produce the results that they want in their lives and how to take ownership of their lives. Own your dreams with Ona Brown. She looks like me without a beard. Yeah. And she's also a speech coach as well and has helped me. And I'm so proud of her. So say hello to everybody.
Hello, I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
But tell me this now, because he said something that I always, I don't care how, and I don't use the word great with your father. He said, you still help him as a speech coach.
Yes.
Somebody as talented as he is. He's like the Magic Johnson of motivational speaking. You know, when you say Les Brown, people they know who you're talking about.
Right.
Okay. How do you help him out? Because that means I need a lot of help. That means I need a lot of help, girl.
That's great. We always believe that you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach.
Right.
And so one of the things that I admire about my father is that he's always open to coaching. He's coachable because anything that will help him to grow, he is about it. He's really the message that he brings, and he's fallen in love with self-development. And so one of the things that I helped my father with, in particular with his message, was that he used to say, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me was I made $1 million.
Right.
And I said, Dad, are you open to some coaching on that? And he said, what? I said, you make it sound as if it's an actual, like you won the lotto.
Right.
I said, you didn't just win the lotto. You worked, you pushed, you stretched yourself, you positioned yourself. You did what you needed to do, and you worked on your mind, because we believe you don't achieve success, you attract it. And so all of these things that you did, you actually made that happen. You
Right.
brought it into manifestation. So own that. And he was like, whoa. So he stopped saying,
Your dad said whoa to you.
yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he stopped saying it.
And was
happened.
proud too. And was proud too.
Yes. He stopped saying it happened to him at that point.
Yes. And so now I say that the easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. But the most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe that it could happen to me,
No, that you could make it happen.
that I can make it happen.
And that's important. She coaching now.
Yes,
She coaching
absolutely.
now.
Yes.
Now, the beauty of this conversation that we're having, because when you motivational speaking, it's kind of like, it's almost church type tones. You know, you inspiring people, understanding faith, lift up when things are down. You get up.
You know the
stay
primary
falling.
difference between what I do and what ministers do?
What's the difference?
Ministers preach the gospel about Jesus. We preach the gospel that Jesus preached.
Wow.
They sell the messenger. I sell his
the
message.
And that's what and I'm glad you said that, because I felt that, and I feel that every time. And also when I'm out there, sometimes when I'm on a roll, as they say, you know, the spirit hits me, and I know what I'm saying makes sense to everybody, because they bob in their heads, you know, pointing and all that good stuff. They just not running around the room shouting.
Right.
Hallelujah, Rushion! I got a job. I got a job.
No collection plate.
No collection plate. So, what exactly is your role in the big Les Brown empire?
Well, I am known as the Dream Queen and the Message Midwife, and I have helped my father off and on throughout the years with his business, but I also launched my own business.
Tell us about it.
And it's called World Impact Now, and it is about transforming lives daily. So I've spoken nationally and internationally for over 22 years. And my father, we used to work together, and then I would quit, and then I would come back, and then he would fire me, and so we've always
I fired about 8 times.
That's a father-daughter relationship.
That's
That's
what-
good.
Yes. And so, but we have such a love for each other, and we love sharing the stage together. And it's just been a beautiful growth and development. I ran from speaking until it caught me. I didn't see myself as a speaker because I was shy and introverted.
What were you running to?
That's a good question. I was running to my limitations, my self-imposed limitations, because I knew I was the number one salesperson in the back of the room. I knew that I would do the research on the corporations and give him the raw material so that he could give a powerful presentation and get a standing ovation. And I also knew that I negotiated his first highest paid international contract. So because I saw myself as an introvert, I never imagined that I could ever take the stage. I thought that was it for me. And one day he was eavesdropping on my phone calls and realized that he said, Ona, you're a speaker, you're a coach, you're just using the telephone as your microphone.
Right.
And I said, what you talking about, Willis?
Just push the wall out the way. Let's put some people in front of you and let's go to work.
Yes.
So what was your first experience?
So my first experience, Dad said, listen, he kept trying to tell me
Because I
that
want to use this to inspire people who are sitting on the starting block.
Right. Yes. This is great, because he was telling me you can do it. I said I can't. And actually, oftentimes, if someone sees something in us that doesn't fit into the box of how we see ourselves, we will reject it. And I was rejecting it. I said, I can't do that. And finally, he used wisdom, and he said, you know what? Maybe you're not a speaker, maybe you're not a coach, but you sure tell a great story. I said, I do tell a pretty good story. He said, well, would you just come on stage and tell a story? You ain't got to speak or nothing.
Right.
I said, okay, I'll come on stage and tell a story, but I'm not speaking.
So that was a trick move for you.
He tricked
emotionally.
me. He tricked me. He
So
got
now,
me.
are you telling stories or are you speaking now?
I got on stage and told a story.
No, I'm talking about now, though. Are you telling stories or are
but
you
I
speaking?
wanted to tell you how, for the people that are getting out there, how
Oh,
it
there you
evolved.
go. There you go. Slow down, Rushion. Slow down.
Yeah, slow down, Rushion. So then I got up there and I told a story. I felt a connection between myself and the audience. I saw people having these aha moments. People came up and said, thank you. You spoke into my life. That was for me. I needed that. And that was the beginning of when I was bitten by the bug. And I started telling a story and throwing in a statistic, spicing it up with a scripture, backing it up with a quote. And next thing you know, I was on the stage going for 45 minutes strong. And Dad said, excuse me, can I get the mic? I said, back up, brother. I'm on a roll. Yeah, so that was the beginning of how I fell in love with speaking.
Here's the beauty of your conversation is that relatable, because I heard the word domestic and I heard the word international. What allows you to communicate your values internationally?
That's a great question. I think, again, it's what Dad said as far as communication style, as well as being vulnerable. I think there are two types of speakers when it comes to motivation. There are those that say, you can be like me, I'm perfect, I got it all going together, and they kind of levitate on the stage and they're perfect. Dad has that approach that says, I have made some mistakes and I don't have it all together, but let me teach you what I've learned so that I can shorten your learning curve and help you to be able to go to the next level and not have to go in the pitfalls that I've already been in, been there, done that, got a T-shirt and a keychain to go with it. And so for me, I've been that same way. I'm very vulnerable. I'm very open. When they called me and said they wanted me to come to Curacao to speak and fire up their people, I didn't even know where Curacao was. I didn't know how to spell it, but they sent the check, so I went.
Send a check and an airline ticket.
Yeah.
Once the airline plane know where to land, you good. You good. Just get to the airport, find that departing lane, and you good.
I told Dad, I said, have you been to Curacao? He said, no, but go get that money and light them up.
I've been to Curacao. It's a very small island. You know, I used to perform on cruise ships, and I used to stop in there. So that's the only reason I've been to Curacao.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm listening to what you're saying. I've listened to your father. I'm a fan. Can I say that? I'm a fan of you. You know, the articulation, the sincerity, the ability to go from step 1 to step 4. Because sometimes you have to skip steps in success. And that's the hard part that people, but that's called planning, though. You know, if you don't plan, you're going to hit every step. Because you plan, you can avoid certain steps. Or if you listen to people who have experience, you can avoid certain steps. And so there's 3 things that you could give somebody advice on. And then we also need to tell everybody how to get in touch with you. They know how to get in touch with your dad. Now, you know. Now, you got to brand yourself. This is money-making conversation. Marketing and branding you.
Yes.
First of all, tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
They can go to onabrown.com.
Spell it out now.
ONABROWN.com. onabrown.com. Send an email to info@onabrown.com, and we will love to talk to you and stay connected with you.
And your goal when they call you or contact you is what?
If they are interested in having someone to come in and light up their organization, their group, I love working with youth. I love working with women, non-for-profits, churches, you name it. We speak to everybody. We even fire up Martians, don't we, Dad?
Yes, we do.
With that being said, where are you based at?
I'm based actually between Lexington, Kentucky, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, you're here today. Are you doing any speaking engagements today in Houston, Texas?
We're going to do some
Yes,
speaking.
we're going
later
to
on.
speak at the Norris Center.
Yes, sir.
And so that's this afternoon, and she's going to be with me and my son, John Leslie, and Patrick.
Tell me this. You got to be proud, Mr. Brown.
I am, because I read something once that Jacqueline Onassis said.
Yes, sir.
She said, what if I earn all the money in the world and my children don't amount to anything? And so I wanted to share with my children my desire to make a difference in people's lives.
Right.
Which will also, I wanted to build a company that my children can inherit and my grandchildren can inherit and my 3 great-grandsons can inherit. A good man leaves a legacy for his children and for his children's children. And so one of the things when I started doing research that will always be a demand for, people who can communicate and people who can present, give people hope and inspire them to do more and achieve more. There will always be a market for that. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Right.
And so now we are going beyond the family and teaching others how to do it as well, because we need people to teach our people how to live right here, right now, and begin to live their dreams rather than their fears.
Well, my friend, I'm going to call you my friend.
Yes, sir.
We suit-wearing buddies now.
Let the record show.
And then I'm a big fan of your daughter now. I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder. You know, you're in church, they touch you.
That's right.
They anoint you.
Yes,
you feel comfortable around somebody.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody told you you're talented. You know, sometimes you need to hear that again, over and over again, because when you go through life, you know, you just try and understand your path. Right. And I'm going to tell you right now, you got it. Don't let nobody take that away from you. Your father just gave you the opportunity, but you leaped beyond opportunity, and you're embracing the ability to be successful.
Thank you so much.
Don't change. I hope you call me a friend. If you ever need me to promote anything for your brand.
I want one of these suits.
Huh? Oh. please contact me.
My daughter's a cross-dresser. I'm serious. Yes,
You do female versions?
No, I do not, my dear.
Okay.
I just met you today now. Your dad I've been knowing 30 years, okay? He been changing my life for 30 years now. You just can't jump in front of the line. Now, you might have did a 45-minute speech and told him to get back, brother. You ain't going to do that to Rushion McDonald now. Get back, Mr. Brown. I got the suit now. I want to thank y'all for coming on the show today.
I'm getting one.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, another brilliant round of applause for, I'm going to call it the world's greatest motivational speaker.
He is. He's the GOAT for sure.
Greatest of all time. Please welcome and say goodbye to Mr. Les Brown and his fantastic daughter, Ona Brown. That's www.onabrown.com.
Thank you. Blessings.